Welcome to Roseflower Radio, the show that goes behind the scenes of your favorite independent artists and creatives. I'm your co-host, Michael Wilson.
And I'm your co-host, Finlay Matthias. With us this week, we had Raine Stern.
Raine.
Who is an incredible guitarist, first of all. That's their main instrument, guitar. They were on The Voice Season 20 over the pandemic. They have an incredible outlook on life and art and... Yeah, oh my God, yeah, Micah.
It was really fun, and we want to make sure that you guys stick around the entire way because there's a lot of fun stuff. And we were goofing around a lot, so we hope you enjoy. Make sure if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you click that follow or subscribe button, and then here on YouTube as well. So thank you guys, and we hope you enjoy the video.
Bye-bye.
But we would say something like, yo, hey, thank you so much for hopping on. You know, it's... Wait, you're always on.
I'm always on.
Yeah.
I'm never not on.
Yeah, Raine, what's it like to be back? In the seat that you're always in.
I was just taking that long trip that we all know about.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that long
Bangladesh,
trip.
right?
Yeah.
What's that?
Was it Bangladesh?
No, it was the boonies.
The boonies. Talk to us about the boonies.
Yeah, so I've never been to middle South America.
For sure.
And I was just like, what's that about? It looks silly. So I went, and very colorful.
I mean, you were gone for like, what, a year and a half now?
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like, so many minutes. Like, tens of thousands of
That's
minutes.
what's crazy about time, man. There's
just keeps
multiple
chugging,
minutes.
you know?
Yeah, it doesn't give a fuck, dude. Like, time's like...
Dude, it's linear,
I'm
bro.
going.
It's crazy.
Is it linear?
It is.
That's the big question.
here's the thing. My older sister's a quantum physicist.
Fantastic.
Not even
What
joking.
the
Do you
fuck?
not know this?
Why did you never tell us this?
I thought your sister was a
I forgot
teacher.
to tell both you guys this. She is.
And a quantum physicist?
She does both. So here's what you need.
Wait. What was the first part?
And a teacher. I thought she was a teacher.
She is a teacher.
No, but that kind of checks out, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right?
I'm not lying about anything.
Teachers have to know shit.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
they can espouse it, so...
That's
So
true.
I'm just telling you, like, I'll sit there. Like, first of all, you need to understand the family dynamic. It's like her and then me, who like is a music guy, does boops and beeps on a computer. You know, like totally different. There's obviously, you know, oh, we
There's
all
a
love you the
science to
same.
that.
What'd you say?
There's a science to that.
Yeah. Well,
I think
it's not
Micah's
quantum
sister would
physicist
know.
by any means, but
Okay, so linear, time, quantum physics.
she was talking to me a lot about how, like, how much time is relative.
Yeah.
And like just how crazy that whole concept is, and like she pretty much explained like the multiverse theory and how that like could vary. Like there are people who are genuinely studying that because it actually makes
More
physical sense.
Yeah.
It's a theory, but it like
Well,
works.
everything's a theory.
It's true. Gravity's a theory.
Gravity's a theory.
Fucking
Like-
Newton.
Well, the whole thing is like we don't even know if gravity is like. There's a whole other idea where it's like it's actually sending particles like gravitrons or something,
Yeah.
and it like it's like everything that the whole point of like quantum physics is like everything that we know is totally wrong.
Well, that's the whole point of the scientific method. Is like
True.
Curiosity, skepticism, humility. Like, I think are the emotions, and sort of like emotional concepts that drive how we learn things like accurately.
Yeah.
Because if you're not curious about things, then the pit stop's there.
Yeah.
If you're not skeptical, then you're not you're taking too much at face value and you're not asking questions. And then if you're not humble enough, which is the whole part where that's where you get a conclusion, and then you go, fact, sorta. Like,
Hey!
that's
I could be wrong.
yeah, facts are basically, this is the truth as we currently know it.
Yeah.
It's not, this is the end-all, be-all, I'm Jesus.
No,
Yeah.
facts. And that's what's crazy. You have to remember that we're just like a species, you know, like floating on a rock in space. Like
Yep.
at the end of the day, like the only knowledge that we know is what like our brains can process through like sight, sound, touch, and like what our physical senses allow us to do. Not to get deep. This is a great way to start. Just get
These-
super
these
deep.
are
Actually,
great.
to get deep,
Go.
in space.
Oh,
Ooh.
that was sick. Can you make that noise again? That's pretty sick.
Someone sample that. Someone sample that.
That was a really strangely specific sound.
I know. That's
It
why I
wasn't-
wanted to see if you
It
could
wasn't
do
like
it again.
skeet, and it was,
Oh, God. I can't
and
do
it also wasn't. It wasn't fuck. It was like boing, like skeet.
Sound like a cartoon character, like
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So actually, I am visiting. Remember when I was gone for a year and a half?
I do remember it. Yes.
Yeah, I was actually somewhere deep, far in the boonies on my own, in my real full form, which is a cartoon character.
Okay.
Because
Fair
I just
enough.
like needed to be able to breathe for a second,
Yeah.
but now I'm like,
Probably taxing not being in your full form. In the real world. I
yeah,
get
right?
it. So are you shorter as a cartoon character or taller or like same size?
So remember how like time is relative?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
So tight.
It's back in time when you said that.
Back in time, like whenever that was, or wherever that's gonna be. Oh, yeah. It's going. It's going. I wasn't sure, so I just started pointing at everything.
That's good.
I'm not sure, like.
Fingers
Cameron's
are
actually
relevant.
up there. He's up there. Yeah.
Oh shit! The whole ceiling is a camera. Okay, yeah. So
Damn.
just like time is relative, my body size and I'm gonna move. Let's move on.
So
Let's do something else.
I know we're pushing the joke way too far.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, have I been ousted? Oh yeah, I guess like the
It's a
real
mutiny.
founder is
It's a coup
back.
d'etat.
So
Sorry, dude. I've got the sunglasses.
oh fuck! Everyone knows whoever's got the sunglasses is the boss.
That's such a bar.
So-
Sorry. Oh.
oh.
I bestow upon thee.
Damn, bro. You just got knighted.
You just got founded.
That's so
You've been found. Well, I just
Everyone,
got real religious.
how do we feel about Finlay?
Well, I
looking with the
appreciate
sunglasses?
the brief moments I had the power, but I have to
Yeah.
give it back. I could feel it going to my head already.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get rid of that power before.
It's a lot to
like-
wield.
It is. Yeah.
Speaking of wielding a ton of power, let's talk about your guitar skills for a little
Let's do
bit.
it.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
That was good.
Come on. He's
What a
always
segue.
Yeah, come on. But anyways, so like where did you learn how to play guitar? Where was that? How did that start? Did you always want to play guitar?
In Greene County, Wisconsin.
Yeehaw.
Are you from Wisconsin?
I am from Wisconsin.
What do you think about cheese?
I think that we do it better.
I have a question for you.
Beautiful, and then we'll get to the guitar skills. Go.
Sorry, this is super quick.
No, you're good. I
Relating
love
to
a tangent.
cheese.
I know this question already.
love a
I know
tangent,
what's
go.
coming.
Do you know what big cheese is? Just big cheese, like a company, a hat, a something. Nothing.
Is this like Big Pharma? Like,
Nope.
There's an ongoing gag here where I got a big cheese hat from like a Ralph's like 2 years ago because it just said big cheese on it. Thought it was the funniest thing ever. One day, like 2 years later, I'm walking through like another supermarket. Some guy turns to me and goes like, "Hey, you know Big Cheese or you know Murphy or something." I'm like, "What?" Like there's a huge plot involved.
the big cheese plot.
Swiss, a lot of holes.
That will be my next trip.
Okay,
To
is-
find out where the big cheese is.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm gonna get them.
yeah.
I'm gonna get them. I'll let you know.
I would have put it past you.
I
Look-
would. I wouldn't either. I know a lot about cheese. I grew up in the county that had like 12 cheese factories in it within like very easy driving distance.
And we're not talking about like the cheese factory. We're talking about like cheese factories.
We're talking about like cheese factories literally within walking distance of where I grew up.
Air must smell crazy.
Right around it, yeah. Yeah. But also it's like Farmville, so like there air doesn't really get pent up in the same way that it does when you live in a city of like millions and millions of people with mountains creating a bowl that blockades in
Yeah.
everything, including light and, you know, various kinds of pollution. So no, I feel like in Wisconsin, unless you are right by something, like that kind, like smells don't really accumulate,
Interesting.
you know?
And then all that cheese, and you took a look at it and went, I need to learn how to play guitar. I gotta get the fuck away from all this cheese.
That was
I-
what happened.
Like,
You're brilliant.
Yeah.
That was the way to do it. That was the way to do it. Yeah. But we always knew that about you. Yeah.
Of course. Ever since we met.
Ever since we met.
So long ago.
Ages ago.
Yeah.
In a bar in
In
Bristol.
a bar. In Bristol?
I don't know.
No, you do know.
I do. Well,
You
I
do.
remember.
Yeah.
I blacked out, but I remember.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, no. Trust me. I literally scooped you up like a
It was-
It was
baby.
impressive.
With
honestly.
these big boys.
Yeah.
I
and I
felt
carried you
handled,
home.
like cared for. It was really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. We were all just like all
It
of
was
us,
crazy.
the whole gaggle.
I don't remember that part. I don't know if that was consensual or not.
No. You actually signed a waiver before.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, great. Then, yeah, we're good.
You were like, if I pass out, please give my forehead a tiny little,
little peck.
patronizing little baby kiss. Okay, moving on from that. I don't know if we're gonna keep that one in there, but guitar skills. Okay, where did I actually learn how to do that? I got a guitar for Christmas one year in middle school because my brother had decided to steal money with some of his friends as a vendetta against one of his dad's his friend's dad. Dyslexia. Anyone? Okay. And so he ended up using that money though to do something pretty rad, and he bought a bass. And then I was like, hell yeah, I've been singing John Frusciante guitar solos for way too long. And I was like, I need to be able to express myself. Because being like being an eccentric queer kid in a small town of like 1,300 people, of only like white Presbyterian farmer 1,300 people is like an experience that I know I'm not the only one who shares, but it is like an odd experience. So I had a lot to say, plus my like family life growing up. Like my parents' relationship was very tumultuous. Like my parents broke up and got back together probably like 4 or 5 times while I was growing up.
Wow.
And when they broke up, it was like they would move into different places.
Oh wow, it was like the whole
Yeah, like I remember waking up at like 6 years old in the back of a car, like crossing the Mississippi into a different state. And then just being like, now you go to Hoover Elementary. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, so all of that is like something that was kind of bubbling inside of me to be like, I need something. I really need some form,
like an outlet,
some fucking outlet. Yeah. And so I saw my brother like playing bass, and I was just like, I'm a very tactile person. I talk a lot with my hands. I'm like a New York Jewish Italian guy, you know? So I was just like, I gotta do something with these boys. Yeah. And so my parents got me like one of those tiny little Fender Squier, like Stratocaster looking mini guitars. And
how old were you at this point? Sorry,
I think 11.
Okay.
And then I just got super deep into it. Like I didn't know how to tune it. I didn't know anything, but I started writing songs almost more like a bass player. I was like playing just like the low, what would be an E string, but I couldn't tell you what it was tuned to. Probably some very odd tuning. And I would just play like the low E string and just be like and do that kind of thing. And then I would just like sing really obnoxious Midwestern, my life is mostly fine emo stuff, like I know what life is really like, and just be like, come
At the
home.
age of like 11 or 12.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then like come home, and then like, but it was definitely self-aware because I was being intentionally like, oh, woe is me. And then I would immediately fucking hard left turn and start like just talking about my chores list and how I didn't want to do it.
I don't want to do the dishes, Mom.
Totally
That's
right.
real punk rock.
That's
real
punk rock. That is my first song was called Spectacular Cleaning Machine.
Are you serious?
I'm not even fucking kidding. And
Can you sing it?
Fuck. Like, there's definitely a video of me, like, later that summer, after I had written it sometime, probably in the spring or whatever, singing it at, like, my town's little homecoming, like, fair
Oh,
festival
it was like
thing.
a thing.
It was like a thing, and I, like, performed it at, like, the talent show.
What?
Damn.
Like, and so I was just like, yo, I don't know how to tune a guitar. I don't know song structure. I don't know anything, but I'm gonna fucking step on this stage and rock my shit out. And I remember that the vocal teacher of that local school, because it was such a small school that it was like she taught elementary, middle school, and high school, like voice, like the choir director.
She was just the music teacher.
She was the music teacher. Well, I don't know. She didn't teach band, but she did everything voice. Anyways, I remember she came up to my mom afterwards, and I wasn't there, but my mom relayed this information to me, and she was like, whoa. She's like, I never knew she was talented like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know she had it like that. Like, damn.
I didn't know she had it like that. Which, by the way, like, I really was just playing, like, maybe, like, a 1 and a 5 power chord.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. But it's like that was on instinct. That wasn't, like, a trained thing. So it's like when you start adding information and building blocks to that kind of instinct, like, cool things can come from it.
Yeah.
And so I remember my mom told me that, and I was like, immediately, like, arms crossed.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I
That's
was
when
like,
the sunglasses appeared. Immediately in that moment.
that is actually when they, like, dropped down on a string,
It's like the cool
from
guy,
heaven.
like-
Yeah. And they just went boom, and I was like,
yeah.
yeah, people underestimate me.
An eagle caws in the background.
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah. And I think I had kind of always had a little bit of, like, this nobody understands me, like, emo chip on my shoulder, which that was not completely untrue.
Yeah.
Like, people for the most part didn't, like, especially my peers. But I definitely feel like my, like, not job, but my journey now in life is to accept that, like, people do have the capacity, especially as other adults, to hear me out, to understand me, for me to be able to understand them, and to, like, have that relatability, and ultimately be able to give and receive love. Like, that was something that I think, whether I could articulate it or not at a young age, I was, like, definitely worried about.
Yeah.
And now, like, I think my thing is that there's plenty of evidence to suggest that people do and will love me, and that I need to just sort of, like, chill the fuck out. You know what I mean?
But it's not by works alone, too. You know what I mean? That's, like, the other cool thing. Like, you don't have to, like, prove,
Totally.
like, that you, like, deserve love or
No,
whatever.
yeah.
You know, it's a lot of that, like, and I think this is what we're talking about for our live interview, which you guys will see soon. But
they can watch right now. Link will be down below. It'll be out by the time.
You're right. Out. So yeah, get that right down there. Yeah, get it. I can't even do it. So awesome.
Yup. Back to you,
died.
Buddha.
Man, you know, that's what they call me, man. But so I've never been called Buddha before. Is that like a fat thing or like?
No, dude. Time out, dude.
There's a lot to unpack.
I'm just kidding.
There. That was a lot to unpack in that one.
You know,
question.
and that's funny because I was looking at those calves and I was like, damn, them are toned. What the?
Come on, baby.
No, it's actually because you were talking about the fact that we all come naturally deserving love. So I was like, carry on.
Yes. Well, so that's what I was just gonna say. Sorry, it was.
He's in the process of learning also.
Clear the air.
Raine's been gone a long time. Micah's still getting used
I get
to
it. We'll hug it out after this.
I'm remembering days of the bar in Bristol. It's all coming back to me now. That's why I'm a little flustered. I apologize.
All right.
But what I was just gonna say was, yes, it's really awesome how I've realized you don't need like to prove yourself.
Yeah.
To be worthy of love,
Totally.
because you are innately worthy of love. And I'm not saying you, but you are. I mean, I am saying you. The general
Rhetorically
consensus
speaking.
you. Yes, but for everyone.
Yeah.
Including you. that it's really, that's one of a very fulfilling and freeing moments I've realized in my own life, being like, no, like, I'm enough in whatever capacity because I'm cool. And I think that that's what you were talking about in your live episode where you were saying, like, sometimes you really have to, like, love yourself first.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that comes into that.
Yeah.
When do you think the first moment where in your life you realized, okay, no, like, I love myself?
Wow, I think it's fluctuated. Like, I think in the same way that we have, like, hard, you know, troughs and amazing peaks of moments that can go. And I think, here's the other thing I'll say. I think you're more likely to run into a lot of that, and it can feel sort of jarring if you're somebody who wasn't given a ton of foundation, but is also a seeker. And so you're like willing to put yourself in a lot of, you know, novel situations to try to find and gather and garner information that to like sort of fill out those maybe perceived cracks.
Yeah.
And so, and I have to say perceived because, again, like a lot of what the wisdom, like a lot of the wisdom that people gain in life is really them just returning to this sense of self prior to being, what's the word I'm looking for? Like indoctrinated into self-hatred and into like falsities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is that it's like we live in a world where oftentimes the message that we're given is like, oh, like, don't be sad, bud. Like, don't do that. But also, don't you dare, like, think that you're worthy and, like, talk about it openly.
It's true.
Because if you do this, then, like, oh, come on, man. Like, you don't deserve to be sad. But you definitely also don't deserve to be, like, confident because then I'm going to call you a conceited piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's, like, a very imprisoning feeling that a lot of us, whether we can articulate it or not, are like, it is a super commonly shared human experience.
Yeah.
You grow up and you're like, I feel extremely limited. Like, I'm not allowed to have a bad day, but I'm also not allowed to have a good day and then celebrate it openly.
Yeah.
It's, you can have good days, but just like do it quietly.
Yeah, just internally.
And
Yeah.
honestly, I hate to be that every podcast ever, but I think that that really comes into like the social media game that we play too, where it's all like you have to kind of fake it till you make it, but at the same time you can't fake, like you can't be too, you can't
You have
post
to be
too
authentic.
frequently.
Yeah.
Or
You
whatever.
need to be authentic. But if you're too authentic
Then
and you just say
it's-
whatever, then other people, you have to like play a game, but you have to like, see, that's the thing that's like, I'm actually glad that you brought it up. Like, I don't want, and that's another part of the whole freedom thing is that like, even then, like, and I relate to this where it's like, not to be, no, yes. Like, we have to learn how to like exist within ourselves and exist in the moment in a way where we're just like, I know I'm coming from a place of love, so I'm not going to overthink the rest of what I'm about to say. Like, I know my intentions are good, and I'm constantly practicing that feeling, and so I'm going to trust that the foundation of that feeling is going to serve likely, like, words of truth, at least for me right now.
That's awesome. And I think that that's the other thing, too, is, like, you also, if you truly believe in what you're saying, then, like, and you really authentically believe in what you're saying, the comments just don't mean anything, too.
Yeah.
At a
Because you'll
certain
get
point.
something on, like, social media, and they'll be like, what the blah, 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 you know, just
Right.
like, everyone's just hating, bro.
Yeah.
That's just how it always will be. But, like, and that's what, going back to what you're saying, is, like, if you truly believe in the foundation authentically yourself, and that's that true authenticity,
Yeah.
that's how you build skyscrapers.
I believe so. And I think that my difficulty with that, like, which is so funny because I always pegged myself as this person that I was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, once I picked up guitar and, like, realized that, like, I was good at that and I had something and I had this outlet to express myself and, like, then I started writing songs and then I was like, okay, like, this is my thing. I at least got one thing that I can, like, lean on when in doubt of everything else.
Yeah.
When in doubt of, like, my sexuality or my coolness, whatever, I'm just like, it doesn't fucking matter because I can do this really well. But what makes me really sad sometimes is when I think about the fact that, like, not every child finds that. And so sometimes I think about this version of me that, like, just never picked up guitar. And I'm like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Probably a very, very bitter person, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, like, being an intellectual and, like, a lonely person who's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, like, that's my only... Because then, in a way, by saying without music, like, in a way, I'm kind of shitting on myself and saying, like, I'm nothing. But, see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes my identity gets, like, really wishy-washy because I'm like... And this is all tying together because you were just talking about that thing. But, like, it gets really wishy-washy because I'm like, well, like, would I love myself if I wasn't good at something?
That's a hard question.
That is a hard question. It is a bar now. Yep. Anything's a bar if you've got impeccable flow and conviction. No, that's not. I'd actually take that back.
I was like, I could think of 3 things right now that I'm like, that's not a bar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What are? At least give me one of them.
I'm not gonna say them.
Oh, yeah. No, you shouldn't, because then that wouldn't be cool.
We know what they are. But
yeah. No, we
know what
you're
thinking.
Just send it to me.
Oh, like telepathically. Right
Yeah, do it.
Got it. Yeah, that's not a bar.
Yeah.
That's not a bar.
So,
That's not good.
That would
Actually,
give me
don't
12
give me.
years
I don't
behind
want. I
bars.
actually
That's
don't want that. That's the only kind of bar you're gonna get.
Getting bars, but just iron ones.
Ding. Okay, so social media. Yeah, no, I agree. I think here's something that I would like to say, I guess, to not just yes, to creators, but mostly to non-creators and to, like, consumers of social media, which is all industries, especially entertainment and especially music, like, the most, are wildly different than they were not that fucking long ago.
Yeah, even 5 years ago. Yeah.
Even 5 years ago. Like, TikTok just went skink.
It went ski. It didn't go.
It didn't go. Yeah, no, it
very
skirted.
specifically.
It literally pulled the wheel hard while going like 180 miles an hour. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
To be specific.
Yeah.
Okay. So the issue with that is, as consumers, we have to give creators some grace. If you don't know what it is to be a creator, to be behind the screen as an indie anything, an indie startup business, but especially speaking from the point of, like, a musician, nobody else is going to vie for you until the irony is that it's like, if you have an enormous amount of talent, you've got a very specific brand, like, you've got all these things, but you don't have a assload of money or an insane platform or whatever, then you have to do most of the work that you're doing is not making beautiful art or figuring out who you are or finding your message. It's actually finding the right way to social psychology, market strategy, authentically. The perspective is authenticity for your audience. And that's the issue, is that I'm like, I am an honest person. I am an authentic person. But I'm also, like, an ADHD person who's just like, life is short and I don't have time to, like, pretend that I'm not good at the things that I'm good at and to pretend that I am good at things that I'm not good at. You know, It's like, I'm a flawed person. I'm also dope as fuck. Like, can't I say both of those things? And can't I have an audience that just, like, accepts that? Because you want to talk about, like, acceptance. I think that that's a two-way street. I think that it's like, I'm willing to accept that my audience is made up of a bunch of flawed people, and I am down to hear you out and, like, relay any information. Like, I will absorb your flaws, your woes, your wants, and kind of democratically like a politician, but through art, like go around and like vie for us and advocate for everybody to have more self-love and to have better things and to have a more sustainable economy and like maybe resource-based, whatever. However, it's just like I also then need my audience to be willing to like let me do that.
Yeah.
Like I think that a big problem is that people have an archetype for what a modern like music artist looks like, and they're like, that person is cool, they're doing things that I'm familiar with, and therefore because they're doing things I'm familiar with, I'm going to like smash that like button, kind of like unconsciously. They're not making decisions that are like, do I want to see more of this in the world? Because I always tell people, you don't just vote when you go to the ballot. You don't just vote when you spend your dollar. You vote every single time you like something, you follow something, you spend time on something.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're saying, I want to buy my time and attention, which whether or not you are actively spending money and going, okay, I'm going to purchase this thing online, you're spending time on things is you spending money on a company because they're running ads. And they're, they have...
Everything's running ads. Yeah.
Everything is running ads. So the second that you say to yourself, I am going to choose, even if I don't really like what this person stands for, or this isn't something I haven't seen before, or it's not really servicing my soul in any way, or helping me in my actualization, or making me feel good. It's not bringing me joy. It's not bringing me necessary information for my growth. Whatever. Can fall into any and all of those categories. You still are purchasing it when you decide to sit there and watch it and share it with a friend.
Sure.
No matter what it is. And so what I'd like to say is, okay, so what if you finally found a couple of music artists that have the same passion that like Jimi Hendrix or Bob Dylan did in the 60s, but they're doing it with a modern flair? I would say Damage and myself are both those people. And I know that there are other people like us, however, like in their own way, but like stop shitting on us because we're angry, and stop like calling that passion some type of like negative, egregious arrogance. I'm angry, and justifiably so, because there's a lot of shit that I know you, my audience, is being harmed by. And I would like to see it be different.
Yeah.
So, like, let me be passionate, let me know my worth and my value, and then let me, however I best can, service others with that gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And so if you see me out here going, fuck this, like, love that, I'm dope as fuck, but I'm also sad, whatever it is, just like, let me be a person. I'm complex. Let everybody be a person.
Yeah.
They're all complex. They're not two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
You can't hold anyone to a specific standard or anything.
Exactly. Skepticism.
Truth.
Be curious about people. Be skeptical about your own perception about them. And then be humble enough to be willing to be wrong about whatever conclusion you draw constantly.
There you go. Music,
About everyone.
quantum physics, same. There's so many crossovers.
Same shit, bro.
I like you didn't decide to move the mic, you moved your body towards the
I'm
mic.
adapting. I'm a scientist. I'm adapting.
That's awesome.
Theory of evolution right there. There you go, guys.
That was a perfect example of the theory of evolution.
Got that shit down, bro. Charles Darwin just rolled in his grave, bro.
Dude, Charles Darwin just did one of these. Like,
He hit the in his
I
grave.
feel like Charles Darwin probably would have hit the stankiest nay of our entire generation.
that shit stank.
Dude, he had to go to the Galapagos just to air off, bro.
Dude, that's so funny. The
He had to
Galapagos
go to
Islands.
Wisconsin just to let all the air go, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Cheese there.
Yeah.
Cheese there. When did you decide to move to LA?
A year and a half ago.
Okay.
What's the worst thing and the best thing about LA?
I think I could say a lot, but my first instinct is to say sort of the same thing, which is just that, like, anything is possible.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I got here, I'm saying I was here for less than 2 weeks, and I run into, like, a decamillionaire crypto bro on Santa Monica Boulevard. I don't know anything about this guy, but he literally goes, while I'm talking to my partner of that time, like, you know, I'm very animated, so he's like, you're like a living, breathing cartoon character. You just, like, just says that. And I went, you guys know.
Yeah,
I said,
well, we know.
That's the most accurate thing anyone said to me all week. But I've also only talked to, like, 3 people, so, and then he, like, laughs or whatever, and then he's like, what do you do? And then I said, because he's just curious, and I said, dead ass, no hesitation, looked him right in the face, and I said, I make grown men cry for a living. And then he was like, just belly laughed, and he was like, and then he's like, what does that mean? And I was just like, I got mad guitar skills, bro. We're all sobbing. And he was like, you know what? You seem cool as fuck. Do you guys want to, like, you know, and then, of course, just classic, super safe. You guys want to just, like, come back to my Airbnb? I've got a marmoset, which is a Brazilian monkey. And I was like...
So, wait, did you know that at the time that was a Brazilian monkey?
Yes.
So you knew, like, he said that, you were like, I'm in.
Yeah, it was very difficult, because I was like, stranger danger...
Marmoset.
And so,
like, it might be worth
Everyone's had one of those moments.
100%. And this experience is so LA. And then it only gets more LA. And then it's like, then, like, I was like, yeah, I'm busy, but, like, maybe another day. He's like, me and a couple of my friends, like, got this spot. And it's up in, like, Malibu Hills, overlooking the ocean. It's like, and so I decided to go. I, you know, invite my girlfriend.
I was about to say, were you by yourself or?
Yeah, of course, classic.
Okay.
No, I just stranger dangered that shit all the way, and she, like, wouldn't come with me, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go. They've got a hot tub, and he's got, like,
you got a Brazilian monkey.
They've got a Brazilian monkey, and, like, at least a handful of people. I know at least one of them is probably, like, it seems to be, like, a similar aged woman, so, like, that's not necessarily safe, but, like, so I go, and I pull up to this property, because I was staying at a spot in, like, Whittier.
Yeah, okay.
And then I drive all the way to Malibu, and I'm like, whoa, this shit's far. And I was like, I see what people mean when they say, like, this is why you gotta live in the neighborhood you want to be in, because, like, yeah. And so I go, and then I pull up to this property that's, like, gated, and I, like, get there. There's a huge fountain with, like, all of this gorgeous tiling, and then I walk up, and I see these massive, like, round arched doors with, like definitely what's the word I'm looking for?
Marble, maybe?
Not marble. No, they were, like, wooden doors, but their handles were
it's like a
like
creature.
They were like iron.
Oh,
they were
okay.
like these, like,
stainless
insane
steel, iron.
It
kind
wasn't
of thing.
stainless steel. It was, like, black. Like, these were, like,
Ooh.
old fucking doors
Yeah,
that had been,
okay.
like, well kept. And I find out that, like, all of that shit has been imported from Morocco. And I walk in, and it's just, like, massive, can't even fit your arms around it, marble pillars, like, into this thing. And I walk in, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And, like, I come from very, like, not super low income, but, like, very humble beginnings, like, in Wisconsin. And so I'm like, okay. And I walk in with, like, a tiny little acoustic guitar on my back, and I'm like, I'm here. And there's these two extremely insecure looking, like, pretty girls, like, sitting by this fireplace. Like, who's that? And what actually is that? And I was just like, a queer woman. You ever seen one? Like,
boom,
bam, we wear shit like this, homie. This guy, and then this, like, Ken Barbie doll looking dude named turns around and goes, oh, hello, you must be Raine. And I was like, yes. He's like, I've heard good things. I've heard you're a musician. And I was like, this is true. And then he goes, can I get you anything? Water, whiskey, drugs. Turns a briefcase yay big. No lie. Like, this thing was definitely over 2 feet wide. turns it around on this like kitchen island, unsnaps it, opens it up. I'm talking everything under the sun is in this thing. Mushrooms, MDMA, cocaine, like ketamine, like the list goes on, like very obscure psychedelics that like most people never get their hands on. And I was like, okay, we've got San Francisco ass, like Bay Area ass, crypto, tech, psychonaut bros. Like that's what I'm dealing with.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was my first time experiencing those people. It was just my first time experiencing that in the wild, like up close and personal. And
like a safari.
Yeah. And then I ended up trying like a little bit of like 2CB, which is a little mescaline derivative, and like a very, very, very low dose of it, and climbing into these hot tubs with these people. And I was like, this is actually dope as fuck, and they're very smart and intellectual, and it wasn't weird. And then I became friends with them for like the next 5 months.
Hell yeah.
And then the Decamillionaire guy was like, you're actually so talented, because I ended up like was like, I'm curious, what kind of music do you make? And so I played them a couple songs, and then he was like, wait, this is actually really good. Like, is this released? And I was like, no, I don't really like know how to do any of this shit. And they're like, well, we know how to do like marketing and stuff. It's not music marketing, but like business is business. And I was like, okay. And then basically the next 5 months was me with a spreadsheet going to all these different random places, South by Southwest, Bitcoin Miami, like you name it. They flew me around everywhere.
Damn.
Just because they were like, this is our cool little rock star friend. That's it. Like that's what it was. Like I had vibes and talent. That was it. And
that's all you need.
And I was funny, and I was down to do acid like anytime. So they were like, okay. Like,
that is, those of you listening, those are the keys to success in LA.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
funny,
it. You just got to be down.
Good vibes, talented, acid. Those are the 4.
So I was like, no fucking way is this like my life right now. And this guy was like, you know what? Like labels suck. Like let me just like loan you $250,000 for
I have a feeling there's
like
a catch
and
coming,
as like
though.
an investment into like Raine Stern the business, and for the next 5 years like I'll take like this percentage or something like that. And I was like, you're on. Then in June of last year, middle of June, like literally right before my birthday, we all know, market crash. Dude lost most of his money.
Bro's Dogecoin all gone. His
Like-
Bitcoin all gone.
Like that, and he had like a money printing business, and he like I'm pretty sure. Anyways,
that sounds illegal.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah,
This guy
well-
was doing all kinds of shit, and I was like, I don't know anything about
Listen,
this.
just give me the 250K, okay?
Just give me the 250K. But he was also like wanting to start like a psychedelics company, of course. And like, I don't know. I had some like, this was one of those kinds of people that whether or not like, what made him super interesting to me was his ability to get extremely like unique, interesting main character energies around him. All these people around him were just like, I personally like loved his friends, and so I like was having a hard time saying no to like doing this shit. But it was stressing me out because I was like, I don't think you guys actually know how to like
how risky giving me 250K would actually be.
No, I think I had a really good idea for what I was going to do with
Okay.
it, and I was going to like seek out. I was willing to spend a lot of that money on actually seeking out professional help and direction, so that I wasn't just willy-nilly spending $250,000.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was with a spreadsheet, like figuring it out over the course of 5 months. Moving on. So that's, I think, what is the best and worst thing about LA is anything can happen.
Lots of
Forgot I
highs.
asked that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lots
And,
of highs and lows in this
Yeah.
city, yeah.
but I have an EP coming out soon. So let's...
Ooh. And yeah,
So-
speaking of other things coming
Yes.
out, you had a video come out literally like an hour
Yes.
and a half ago.
Yes.
At
Love
this
Limited
time.
Edition.
With
At noon.
Damage.
With Damage.
Who you mentioned before.
Yes.
Yes, so,
We're roommates.
yes.
We're
And
like
they
be-
were roommates.
And they were roommates. huh?
No way.
We're like best friends at this point. I mean, this is our coming up story. Like, this is being documented in history. We, Damage didn't really have, like, a lot of viable options and hit me up and ended up moving into my 1-bedroom apartment with me with their black lab. We had 2 big dogs and, like, a 1-bedroom apartment. And we were platonically sharing that space with different beds, one of them being a king-size bed. So, like...
I'm assuming you didn't have the king-size bed.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
The salt is dripping off of these words right now.
But here's the thing. We made it out. Now we have a home and, like, a house, and we really love it. And I'm building out my studio. So anybody who wants to, like... give your business to a very trusty, creative, and caring queer woman. I'm your producer. And then, so like, I think that what we have is a lot of love between each other, because if we were able to live in that apartment together for 6 months, by the way.
Damn.
And make it out alive, not having, like, killed each other at that point, then... Like, that's kind of a gnarly foundation for a friendship. So,
I think you can survive anything if you can survive that.
Oh, yeah. So things are looking up. And then we just dropped our first ever song together. And we both got, like, the most attention and streams on it due to Tism Riz.
That's where I wanted to go. Yeah, I wanted to...
Yeah, that's where all of that came from.
Give me the breakdown.
The breakdown of Tism Riz?
Yeah, breakdown. 2 words in that sentence.
Yes.
Tism, Riz. Give Micah a breakdown.
Okay, so I think everybody knows what Riz is, especially if you're like Gen Z. But if not, I'm going to inform you all. Riz is short for charisma, which you have a lot of as hosts.
And you as well. Obviously, you host too, but you've just been away for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't always need to talk about myself, so I was like passing that over to you guys. But charisma. So Riz is sort of like this term for your, like, kind of swag that, makes people, like, it's your attractive quality. And it's like an energy thing. And then TISM is short for autism. And so I kind of was using that as a catch-all for, like, neurodivergence. Like, the thing... Like, my friends will be like, you're, like, quirky, and girls will sit there and, like, watch you, like, obsess over, like, bussing things out and like, quantization. And then I'll be like, I'm obsessed with this stuff. And then they're like,
straight girls find that attractive, man.
That's what I'm saying. And, like, all of them. And so they're like...
I've been trying.
Yeah, every time I pull out a bus, the girl's like, nah.
Command T, I'm trimming it.
That's so crazy.
No, but it's just, like, stuff like that. And then, like, it's basically, Tism Riz to me is being, like, a neurodivergent nerd who other people, especially bi-curious women or bisexual women, like, find that endearing and therefore interesting and attractive. Like, that's what that's a catch-all for. But I talk about it in the context of the song as, like, this thing that also makes me feel lonely. And... I'm on my unmedicated Donnie Darko shit, and, like, I step upon the pedestal. She's willing to go to the precipice. I'm here for the love, but they don't commit, and so I'm the only one to take the risk. She is the audience.
You got.
Get got.
And so that's me kind of talking about how, like, I'm willing to step up on this stage and, like, put myself on full display and have tomatoes chucked at me and, like, call out anybody in the world who I think is bullshit and is harming people. Like, I don't care. Put me deep in the music industry and I'll call out all of the predators by name. Like, I will be that person. So that's why I'm like, vote for me. And then a lot of people be like, oh my God, that's so incredible that, like, you're willing to do that with tears in their eyes. Like, thank you for saying these things. And then I'm like, awesome, go with me. Like, this is a community effort. And then they're like, actually, I think I'm just going to leave you alone on that.
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm like, she's willing to go to the precipice. She's willing to step to the edge, but she's not willing to actually take the leap of faith.
Yeah.
And she being the audience. And so I kind of trick people into, for the first half of the verse, thinking that it's, like, about a relationship or it's about an actual girl. It's not.
Oh.
You heard it here first, folks.
Anybody who's the audience.
Genius breakdown right there.
Yeah. So, but lastly, since I know we only have a few minutes left, I have an EP called Welcome Home coming out. It's very vibrant. It's very danceable. It's meaningful. It's kind of like healing your inner child, but it's also sexy. And it's also like, it's all of these things at once. It's self-produced, guitar, bass, drums, all the things. And so I'm really proud of it. It's my debut EP.
Hell yeah.
And so I'm really excited about this because I just want like everybody who's been waiting for me to drop music and been waiting for me to drop a project to know that like I have now fully accepted that like I can do this, and I'm not like, I can do this on my own, and I'm not really waiting for anybody else's approval or like a team behind me. And so I'm like, fuck it. Like, I want a producer, I want a band, I want all of those things. But if I'm waiting on other people in order to put things out, like I could wait a long time.
Yeah.
Totally.
And so that's why I'm like, I'm just going to do this. I've got hundreds of songs catalog. Like, I'm going to start dropping EPs. Fuck it. Once every 5-6 weeks.
Who's going to stop you? No one.
We'll hold you to that.
Do it. Hold me to it.
Every time you come on the pod, we're going to be like...
Well, I'll drop one in October.
There you go.
How about that?
October?
I don't know.
Oh.
Probably later in October. Mid to late October.
Before Halloween.
Right before Halloween, yeah.
That would make sense because that's the end of October.
There you go.
So there you go.
We know months.
Yeah, right. But, Raine, we are running out of time.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I want to ask a couple more things super quick.
Okay.
Voice, real
Yes.
quick. What was the story? Yeah, the voice.
Not the TV show. We're talking about your voice specifically.
Okay.
But you were on The Voice.
I was on The Voice, season 20.
How was that?
Weird.
Really?
I'll
you
just say a
talk about
few
it?
things. I can talk about it.
Okay.
I will say this. I am probably... I am a very, like, unexpected character on a show like that. Most people that go on those shows are like, I've been singing in the gospel choir with my family since I was 5, and like singing is my dream, and like getting to come up on this stage and like kiss these coaches' ass is my dream.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm a songwriter, producer, artist, and I feel really out of place here.
Yeah.
And it was also it was the season that was like during the pandemic.
I was going to,
So season 19 rolled into the pandemic, but they at least got to have those like in-person
They had
interactions.
like the live,
And then season 21, towards the end of it, they were coming out of it. Season 20, the whole 100% of the time.
So it was all virtual?
It
so you didn't go anywhere? Or
no,
anything?
I flew out to Burbank and then filmed in like Studio City or whatever, like on the Universal lot. It was like stage 5 or 25 or whatever. But I just felt super out of place. I was very lonely, and I was stuck in a hotel room for about 3 months by myself.
Yeah.
A Marriott alone.
Hey,
So,
I
like-
mean, if there's somewhere to be stuck, I feel like the Marriott is.
It was an okay hotel, but it's super
B-Tech
boring.
hotel right there.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, you couldn't like hang out with friends. Like it was crazy. But if I'm being super honest, I don't really think that the experience was worth it. I actually rejected the contract at first. This is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll catch up on it another time. But I rejected the contract at first, and Michelle McNulty, the casting director, calls me the next day and goes, Raine, what happened? We were so excited to have you. Like, we've never had someone like you on our show. You know, we've never had a 22-year-old woman that shreds guitar on The Voice. So
Come on, you'll make us look so good.
Totally. You'll make us look like
We're
more
yeah.
diverse.
Exactly, yeah.
And so I was like, who is this for, you or me? You know? And then she basically like promised me all these things, got me in touch with one of their UMG lesbian lawyers to try to like make me feel like we shared something in common.
One of us.
Exactly.
Of us.
And I was like, I don't give a fuck. You can be gay and a snake. Like, your sexual orientation, the color of your skin, none of that makes you good or bad. If we want to talk about equality. So you can be a piece of shit and be a lesbian. I don't give a fuck. Like, and so, yeah, like all of it was sketchy, but my family really wanted to do it. My friends really wanted me to do it. I was like the only person who was like, I don't know about this. I want to bet on myself. And that was, they made me sign this contract that was a no-compete contract that said, you can't post music content on any of your social media platforms from now till like after the show is done. And so the second half of 2020, the first half of 2021 was the best, most critical time to be online.
And
I missed
do
it.
shit,
and
yeah.
I couldn't do it. So, if anything, The Voice actually robbed me of my own fucking potential. I don't give a fuck about the NBC's audience. I want my own audience.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and they kind of took that ability for you to pick and choose what you
For me to be authentic.
because they kind of
During a
got to
time-
choose
Yeah.
what people saw of you.
Well, now the game is so much harder and so much more saturated on apps like TikTok because people are like, we've seen everybody doing the like lo-fi authentic shit in their bedroom that blew up. Now we expect more from you, but can you still make it authentic while it's also like 4K and heavily produced and costs a lot of money?
While you're running full speed down the street while someone's running in
Exactly.
front of you with a camera.
Can you have almost no money in your bank account and afford all of that and make hundreds of those videos to post every day, 3 times a day? No, but what I could have done was done the like lo-fi authentic shit
First.
in my bedroom first, except for NBC robbed me of that.
Wow.
So
then-
like, there's your answer.
And then realistically, what did you kind of like you said, was it for them, was it for you? Realistically, was there anything tangible that you gained from being on the show?
I know more about what I don't want.
And with that, Raine, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
So, you already did a little spiel, but we normally say you've got this camera in the middle.
Yes.
You've got this camera here. Where can everyone find you? What would you like to promote? What
Yeah.
should the people know?
Okay. Hi, my name is Raine Stern. I'm a singer, songwriter, electric guitar player, producer, artist, goofball. Who knows? We're figuring it out. We'll add more to the list and subtract some later. You can find me on any platform, whether that's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you name it, under the name Raine Stern, R-A-I-N-E, Stern, S-T-E-R-N. I am dropping my debut EP called Welcome Home. It's fun, it's loving, it's exciting, it's danceable, it's intricate. Come inside, you are welcome. We're going to heal together and feel sexy and confident together all at the same time. And I am extremely excited to unbecome Patrick's, Patrick Star, and take myself out of my own rock and step into the light. And that's maybe me dropping a little, what do you call that, in like a book? When there's like a
Stardust?
thing. No, when there's a thing that like, then it's like a hint.
Foreshadowing?
Yes. Into the light. A foreshadow.
Oh.
Whoa, they're good. They're good.
Ooh. Wow.
Micah, where can everyone find you?
Find me on Instagram and Twitter, or X, at Shoelace Music, spelled S-H-O-O-L-A-C-E, because, you know.
Love it.
At least you're wearing them
That's
today.
a cool name. I like that.
See?
We all
will
made
be like,
fun
so
of him
what's it
for
like
it."
to be called a paperclip? She just forgot and thought my name was Paperclip, and that was the funniest thing I've ever been told. It was so funny. Anywho, Finlay, where can everyone find you and Roseflower Records?
You can find me on Instagram at Finlay Did It, because who did it?
Finlay did it.
Finlay
I've
did
got
it.
him trained so well. You can find Roseflower Records on Instagram at Roseflower Records, on X at Roflow Records. They have a character limit, so we had to be Roflow Records on
I think it's cool.
X. I don't fuck with it. You can find us on TikTok at Roseflower Records and at www.roseflowerrecords.com. You can email me or Micah at our names at roseflowerrecords.com. And I think that's it. Join our Discord in the link down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Raine, again, thank you so much for coming by. It's been so much fun. It's good to see you again
It's
after
good to
your
see you
long
again.
trip.
Finlay, Micah, Raine. What the Three Musketeers.
We're
the best
back.
co-hosts
We're
of all
back.
time.
We're back. All right.
All right, we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. And then we hit the nay-nay. Ayo! Why you both...